Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Matthew Mancha, and welcome to my Leading Sustainable Change project. I will be your Sustainable Project Manager with Entrepreneur Spirit for Sustainability. I would love to inspire to bring to life more sustainable global supply in the world. While working with Amazon is a American multinational e-commerce company headquartered in Seattle, Washington, incorporated July 5th, 1994. Bellevue. We are. The founder and owner and chairman of the board of the directors, his name is Jeff Henson Bezos. Currently, as of 2021, Amazon employs more than 1,608 full-time and part-time employees, and still counting. I'm one of them. I work for LAX9, if you all want to know. That's in Fontana. And they operate globally more than 2,500 active facilities worldwide. More, each warehouse is different sizes, different unique parts of the supply chain. They have worldwide, it's counting about to being 496 million square feet of warehousing. So this is really making Amazon a leading global leader in warehousing industry and the supply chain. So speaking about the supply chain of Amazon, each part of the supply chain is broken down to each warehouse. For example, some warehouses are delivery stations where they only take product from the picker stations, from the picker's warehouse for that general area. Some of them are stationed in different hubs around the world. If you're looking at California, like Southern California, we have a hub in Reno Valley, Eastville, and Chino Hills. So sometimes people who are living in California will get their products from a warehouse that's in Chino Hills or Moreno Valley. Very interesting is that. Near Rialto off of Renaissance Way, there's a total of 4 warehouses there that are only picker stations, meaning that all the other discombobulated products that are coming into the warehouses have a certain destination that it needs to go. So the picker's jobs are to pretty much pick in place that zip code's product of where it needs to go. And once it's fully picked, it goes to the delivery station for its final destination and heading towards. So you'll see those blue vans coming around the corner and there's your product, kind of things like that. But there's other warehouses out there that are desortment, also called fulfillment centers, which takes on other warehouses' stuff, spin them on the conveyor belt, and then send them out again. That's literally what my warehouse is. LAX9, they say it's a fulfillment center, but here's the thing. What is it fulfilling? I mean, we're not taking any deliveries towards any person in Fontana, so I'm like, play on words. It's pretty crazy. But it's pretty interesting for these warehouses to be. But each of these constructions of these warehouses are starting to becoming more and more affecting the environment in a very negative way. So some of the things that we see as a problem with Amazon building these certain warehouses is that they're usually targeted in low income home areas, which at an economic standpoint, yes, if you put a new warehouse up in a low economic center area, hence like San Bernardino Airport or within San Bernardino, yes, that should create more jobs. That should create more sustainability of people gaining money to be able to to live off a living. But that's a whole nother issue on its own. They still underpay the employees that actually work for them. That's an issue. As much as of an issue is that they love gaslighting their employees. They love telling them, oh, got an issue? Go to HR. They'll take care of that. But when you go to HR and you file out a statement and so forth, you find out that it just doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't go anywhere. I mean, it really takes a long time for anyone to get fired from Amazon if you have serious issues and multiple cases against you. It just takes. very long time. Really mess up in order to get rid of you. But ultimately, some of the environmental factors that are affecting Amazon are toxic e-waste generation, because we do have electronics, batteries, car parts, you name it. And some of these products that come through our lines do get damaged, and they don't exactly get to the customer. It's like, oh, they're damaged. We got to dispose of them. So we end up disposing them a lot. I mean, like almost like 440 tons of waste we generate by doing so. Also, there's a lot of emissions, greenhouse emissions that is emitted by the transportation of these items, the big rigs, the vans, a lot of wastefulness practices inside the warehouses too. Like we have a lot of wood pallets that are broken and they're just everywhere. There's a lot of dust everywhere. We use a lot of plastic and it just goes in the dumpster. We also use a lot of cardboard. We For my warehouse, I used to be a decanter, which means that I used to pull a box off the line, open it up, and start counting how many units are in there and put them in yellow totes. And then I'll take that box and I'll put it on a top conveyor, and that top conveyor will take it to the box baler, and that box baler will get picked up by Protect Waste Company. And that's it of it. That's a problem too. That's creating more waste too. Um, what else can I tell you? A lot of things is that Amazon does fear its employees. It really does, because there's so many of them that they hire on, but they also try to find ways of getting rid of them all the time. It's really bad that your own boss wants to make you out to be the enemy. But also, there's no real like accountability or transparency of how much damage they're doing, or how much people are getting injured, or people who are facing HR cases against them. Like everything's all hush hush and like under the radar, and it's like you're supposed to report those things. Like we have OSHA for a reason, like federal OSHA, Cal OSHA. We have these things for a reason, but that's not happening. It's bad that all the way up to the top, like our owner Jeff Bezos, all the way down, there's like no real accountability on things, and it's really kind of sad. And they don't show transparency at all. Like, how are they facing with human trafficking? Are they facing with mental crises? Anything like it's just not that. So some of the solutions that I've come up with is sustainable waste management. Like when I talked about the conveyor, like in DCAN, or the department's called RP&D. Pretty much what happens is that we should be able to take the boxes and we should be able to reuse them again. And I'm not saying like, oh, if they're already tattered and torn apart, what should you do with them? Like, oh, we should reform them themselves and limit the waste itself and reuse the boxes itself. It saves a lot of time. It creates new jobs. It's one of the coolest things. I mean, there should be real ethical governance as well. I mean, really take it upon the governing board to write policies to say, hey, look, if we're not acting ethical at the top, why you should act ethical at the bottom? And why should we punish you if we're not doing the same thing? I mean, seriously, that's really the kind of thing. I mean, another solution I come up with is that Amazon should be paying us a living wage. Living wage is 3 times the minimum wage, wherever you're at. That's really a big deal. And that is an amazing thing for a company to do. It lowers the chances of turnover. It helps reduce training and resources in that area. And constantly, this repeated a session of getting just new workers, just getting new workers, just getting new workers, just getting new workers every 8 months. I mean, with a high turnover rate of 150%, that is ridiculous, because all the people that already knew what to do are already gone. They terminate themselves, or they got terminated, so forth, or moved to a different warehouse. I mean, it's just really sad that we have this type of system in place and it's not feasible, not sustainable. And Amazon needs to start reporting on their environmental footprints that they are affecting. In the United States, as of right now, we are in a negative um, footprint right now. And I'm not just talking about carbon footprint. No, those are the emission footprints. Those are some of the things we could talk about too. But overall, we are affecting the environment in a very, very negative way. We are over consuming it. And the supply chain can really help us turn it over. Yeah. Transparency and accountability definitely is another solution to getting things in order and having the board being more ethical from the top all the way down to tier one level. And that will be a really good solution for everyone around us. So part of my strategic plan for this is the efficiency of renewable energies in all the warehouses. I mean, every single warehouse that's being built right now needs to finally fit environmental standards. And I'm not just talking about like, oh, yeah, it could, take care of the air quality for a little while. No, I'm talking about everything from renewable energies, hydrogen, solar, wind. And if there's any surpluses, it could be sold right back into the community, which is really great for everyone. Good governance, which is open transparency and dignity, performance of orientation, effectiveness of cooperation amongst everyone. So even all the way down to third-party vendors are trying to sell on the platform. Amazon needs to take the step up and say, hey, look, if you're not environmentally sound, we're not selling your product. And that's a big thing. So inside and outside and externally, it all should be affecting all three. And you should really see the mind mapping that they should be doing for their supply chain. I mean, that is something really big to go on and handle. I mean, just seeing where everything goes and how everything gets recycled back in and really affecting this circular economy would be really beneficial. So, in the end of all of this, please join this revolution as a customer or customer and employee and tell Amazon 2030 is literally around the corner and you need to make a change now.